I'm looking at the effect of fungicide resistance on the wheat disease Septoria. It's a problem because the use of fungicides in Ireland is fairly prolific. A lot of the fungicides that we have are becoming ineffective over the years, and also there's a removal of some of the established products because of EU regulations, and there's less fungicide products coming in the pipeline because research and development takes so long and is very expensive. So we have to try and protect the fungicides that we already have. There are resistant management strategies that we can use in the field, so we can use different type of spray applications. We can use reduced recommended rates. This is based on the theory that, well, if you use no fungicide, then you're going to have no selection for resistance. So of course you have to use fungicide in Ireland. That's just how it is. When you have to use it, if you use less, you're going to have less selection. So that's the idea behind the reduced rates. When you use mixtures and alternations, you use two different chemistries at the same time. The theory behind that is when you use one fungicide, attacks one proportion of the population, and then the other fungicide attacks the other proportion of the population. So hopefully most of the population is covered and killed by using the two different fungicides with different modes of action. We do field trials usually, so we maybe you can see the trials here beside us. We sow our plots, we add treatments to the trial, so we spray maybe 2 application times of the treatments that we're looking to see if resistance is developing. Then I sample after treatment, and then I test in the lab for a sensitivity to the epoxyconazole and metconazole fungicides that we have used on the plot. Well, we can see that the fungicide that's used most commonly in Ireland, our untreated controls in my experiments were much less sensitive to the epoxyconazole, and they were much more sensitive to metconazole. That's not surprising because epoxyconazole is used fairly commonly in Ireland, so it's not surprising that the resistance builds up quicker with the epoxyconazole treatment. I'd just like to explain this graph here. This is the results from a mixtures and alternations trial. We can see here that the epoxyconazole at solo, so basically the fungicide that used on its own, selects a lot. So this end of the graph means that there's more resistance, and this is less resistant. So the epoxyconazole on its own selects quite a lot. The mixture, when you use 2 different fungicides that protect each other, selects significantly less. So that's an important message to get across, that the mixtures are always better than the single products. The alternations, when you use one fungicide at T1 and another fungicide at T2, they also work for this particular alternation. But you can see here that this treatment, the epoxyconazole was applied at treatment time 1, and at this treatment the epoxyconazole was applied at T2. So the position of the treatments in the alternation is very important for selection. So if the fungicide that you want to protect should always be applied earlier in the season. The main take-home message is that basically the more you use it, the faster you lose it. So the more times you use one particular fungicide on your crop, the quicker that crop is going to become resistant to that fungicide. So if you have a really good effective fungicide and it works really well in the field, there's going to be a lot more selection for resistance to that fungicide. So the more you use it, the faster you lose it.